How many people do we have start today?
We had 6 people start today.
How's it been?
Amazing, obviously. They're all fabulous.
Ups and downs?
Mostly ups, a couple downs. It took a turn this afternoon.
Did we lose anybody?
We've lost 2.
Oh, yeah. Wow. We're down to 4?
We're down to 4.
Oh, man.
It took a really, really dark turn.
Those Trainual tryouts, they're tough.
They are tough. But better luck next time.
You've got to build your business around your life and not your life around your business.
Business ads are going to sell you a fake lifestyle of supercars and fancy mansions.
You can get a business up and running really quickly.
Talk to me how it is hiring 6 new employees in a single week. For most companies, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but we only have 20 people.
We had 17 as of Monday. We started 1 person on Monday, so we had 18, and then we added 5 on Tuesday. So we are at 23 people.
Here
in our office.
Yeah, which we have more people than that. But so I think what's cool is Trainual as a product is for companies that are growing really fast. But up until now, we haven't had like the desperate need for it. We've hired like a couple people every quarter, and it's been nice for somebody's orientation. But this is our biggest hiring spurt. We were like needing it more and more and more.
I know. It's been incredible to actually use the platform and building all of the training for my team and all of the other teams, building our 30, 60, 90-day plans, and then getting to put all of our onboarding content to use and seeing how all of our new hires are almost immediately up to speed. We're 3 days in and we had a new hire win a trivia challenge for our customer success department. Like, he's all ready to go. And it just helps onboard people so fast. And I feel like it took no work from me. So I think I'm out of a job, which is worrisome.
Yes, that's why you're here.
This is why we're talking. I'll see myself out.
So aside from Trainual, that's obvious that we're going to use our own thing. But like, what else did we do to prepare to get ready for a growth spurt like this? Because it's going to be the first of many.
Well, I feel like a lot of it was emotional. So it was preparing a team who's been working together for 2 years now, or over 2 years for some people, and helping them prepare to sometimes triple the size of their team. And what that will feel like and what that will look like, how that potentially changes processes. And I think it'll only continue to feel that more as we grow, and we have to think through meeting schedules and like some of the logistics that you don't have to think about when you're 15 people. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it was, how do we make these people feel loved? How do we help them join the team and immediately feel warm and welcome? How do we help them acclimate to systems and processes?
I think there's some specific things we had to do too. Like, well, there's the logistical stuff.
The
like,
office.
Yeah, like we're about to move to your new office, and we had to move a department downstairs into a meeting room.
Yep, Trainual South.
Yeah, South Campus.
South Campus.
And so they were, up and moved in like an hour or something. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, we had to do some shuffling.
Then there's just getting the equipment in advance for everybody. I think people appreciated that everything was ready to go to set up. That was like the first thing they did when they started.
Yeah, part of it was the technology side. So our ops and people ops team partnered to help make sure everything on the HR and technology, even like getting their laptop, getting them included in all their systems, getting their benefits set up ahead of time. So they came in, they didn't have to do any paperwork, and they were just ready to go.
Yeah, that was cool. So then I guess, how else are we approaching this really fast growth? Like, you've been working, I feel like, constantly on org charts and job descriptions and job postings, and it's like, it's a constant conversation with everyone to say, like, where are you at? What do you need? What are your next few hires? And we're constantly readjusting the boxes. Constantly.
I just think of our org chart as a puzzle. So we might hire someone and suddenly they come in like, oh, I can do this and that. So maybe we don't need to hire this person right now, and that frees up budget for us to hire someone else, which can advance something differently. Or like the sales and customer success teams are combining, and what does that look like for us? And it changes everything all the time, but you just have to be talking to people. So figuring out processes and pain points and making sure we're hiring people that actually solve pain points and not just like, hey, we should probably hire this person. So using data to make informed decisions, probably.
what's also weird is like, you know, that article Aaron sent over that was talking about hiring at all different levels and how like you've got a more senior person in this department, so they're kind of overseeing 3 departments, or like you've got someone over here you're really investing in, but they're more narrow in scope. It's like building 4 walls of a building, but like some of them are way higher than others, and
some are like flimsy tarp, and you're like trying to.
But the reality of building a startup is you don't build evenly. There's no way to be like, we're going to build 1 floor at a time. You're like over here doing, you know, steel beams, and over here you're painting, you know, and it's like constantly changing.
I feel like it's like triaging all of the problems and figuring out what is the most urgent problem and solving for that. And then as soon as you figure that out, you move on. You're like, all right, hope for the best, good luck. And then we figure out something next. And what are we going to solve there? And then just hope that it all works out.
Yes, the other thing was interesting, like we had a leadership team meeting on Wednesday, which was the day after 5 people started and 2 days after 1 person started. And so all of us were out of the office, and that became like their Trainual day, right? Because they just had something to do. They could dive in and learn at their own pace. They ordered lunch, I think, while we were gone. So
team lunch.
I think they've had lunch ordered like every day. We might as well have a cook, like a
seriously,
like a chef. But there's been no shortage of food. We had a lunch and learn today that everybody's gotten a bond over. We had on their first day, serendipitously, there was like a team outing scheduled for the afternoon of the first day. So I think, you know, in terms of first weeks, this was a pretty primo. Yeah, pretty good first week. So, and it's so funny. We were shooting a video with Nick earlier about the retreat that's coming up, and we were flashing back to last year when Alex's first day was at the airport getting onto the plane for our retreat last year. And I think that's really cool.
I think that's incredible.
We've had other people that start that we invite them to like social events. Like we went to an NBA game a few weeks ago, and a lot of these new hires were there. So they already kind of knew the people too when they were coming in. I think that's important.
Super important. I feel like if you can get them acclimated socially, and I say emotionally, like make sure they feel super loved. Like loved by the team, or they just feel super welcome and safe and they can ask questions, then it makes everything else a little bit less scary. And I think they feel a lot more comfortable, and I personally believe it leads to higher retention, but I have no data to prove that. I just like try to love everyone and make sure they're happy.
Well, the other thing you did though, that you just probably do intentionally, like without really knowing, but you put people into this cohort, and it was uncomfortable for me because you're like sending offer letters on Friday. You're like, you start Monday, you start Tuesday, and
there was a lot of panic coming from this office.
But in terms of efficiency, like instead of scattering people where you're doing this every week, you're bringing in new people. I think that cohort vibe really helps to like congeal the team and like get them to feel comfortable.
Totally. Feel a lot of fun, different personalities. They all bond. And then like in previous organizations, I've seen those bonds like supersede team bonds because they started together in this really vulnerable place. And so there'll be cross-functional relationships that will be there of tie-in as the company scales and you get to 50, 100 employees, and normally those 2 departments wouldn't talk daily, but they do.
Yeah. So outside of like the crazy things we did for the week with just being gone the second day and doing team outing the first day or whatever, outside of those scheduling things, what was the normal sequence of them coming in? What they do when they first got in? Because they didn't come in at the same time as everyone else either.
No, so they came in a little bit later. That was done intentionally. We had coffees, so we asked them ahead of time what their favorite coffee drink was, very specifically, like coffee with a little sugar and a splash of vanilla. And so we had some team members go to Starbucks, get all of their coffee drinks. So they came in. Starbucks.
I've never heard it called Starbucks. Did you only go to Starbucks, or did you go to a bunch of coffee places?
I think if we had had more time and our team hadn't been sick and trying to like power through to meet everyone, then we might have done the multiple stop. But we just went to a catch-all, got some really specialized drinks, so they knew that we were thinking about them. We got something that they would like. And we started the day with like an hour of introductions and like tell me your story personally and professionally and bonding. And it was 8 of us in a room for 2 hours. You made an appearance. We did a kind of a purpose mission, vision, values overview. And like, here's where we're going. Make sure you get on board or get out.
In nicer terms.
In much nicer terms. So that was essentially it. It was the feel super welcome early on. We did our awesome team outing, which is a cooking class for a couple hours, small groups, cross-functional. We got them up to date on benefits, some of our key policies to make sure there wasn't any ambiguity around when they could take time off, when they could work from home, what our hours look like, things that make people uncomfortable to ask. And so we just walked through all of that, make sure they didn't have any questions. They had their Trainual day all day Wednesday with the lunches every single day that were pretty social. And then we've had them shadowing webinars with customer success. We've been doing product demos. They've been sitting in on stand-ups, jam sessions, sales demos, partnerships conversations, marketing stand-ups, just a little bit of everything to understand how the organization works. And so as the company scales, they know how to do what they need to do.
What's so cool is I'm going through the Trainual thing to like see percentage-wise where everyone's at, and all the new hires are ahead of most of our existing team because there's always stuff that you're like getting reassigned or relearning. But it's cool to see that like literally, not even 4 days in, everybody's 100% trained.
Yeah, and I made it somewhat of a competition. So we had a couple people win like midday through Wednesday, so I'm concerned they didn't like really absorb the content. They were just speeding through, but we'll see. We'll quiz them later, see how well they retain.
Cool.
But it's been incredible.
This was a fun week. I think it was a great intro for them. The energy around here is great. And what's crazy is this is just getting started. So we're going to have more of these cohorts over the next few months. It's just going to keep growing. So I feel like we should shoot another one of these after we've done a few more to like reflect on what's changed, how we've tweaked our process, because this idea of batching together really efficient days, I think is cool.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I can't wait to see how the team grows.
There you go. Hopefully you were able to get a couple tips based on our uncomfortable growth. You can take some lessons from that as you grow your team. More to come.